Alright, what's up everybody? Back with another edition of Everyday Hoops. Hope you guys are having a good one. Today we're going to be talking about James Harden. Yesterday I put out a video about predicting the free agents, because tonight starts, well today technically starts free agency at 6 o'clock. And yesterday, after I put out that video and all that stuff, later came out that James Harden opts into his player option with the Sixers, and they're going to be looking for a trade. James Harden will not be a Philadelphia 76er. He'll be on a new team, and that really kind of shook everybody a little bit. You know, right before free agency starts, I'm going to talk about that, all the scenarios possibly could happen with this. Thank you guys for the views on the videos and the shorts recently. Really appreciate it. If you enjoyed the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn notifications, all stuff like that. I really appreciate it. Really helps it a lot. Looking at analytics, a little bit less than 1% of you that actually watch the videos are subscribed. So, you know, if you like the content, hit the subscribe button. You know, it really means a lot. And I don't want to waste any more of your time. Let's get right into it. So, James Harden, a few weeks ago, opted out of his player option, which wasn't really that big of a surprise to everybody. A $35 million player option going into free agency. He wanted his money. You know, teams like the Rockets and teams like that were really interested in Harden, and also the 76ers as well, obviously. But then yesterday, all of a sudden, it's reported saying that the 76ers kind of didn't really see a future with James Harden. I read the article and all this stuff, and that really surprised me. But Harden opted into his player option, and they're going to be working on trade scenarios. Yeah, so the Sixers didn't really see a future with James Harden, which was very, very interesting to me, because I feel like, you know, if you're the Sixers side, it's like, what else did you really see beside, you know, James Harden? Like, is there anything else you can kind of do instead of getting like James Harden? What better player were you really gonna get? Because I mean, they obviously trying to win still. So that was very interesting to me. And yeah, so Harden will be on the move. One team, that's probably, he's gonna be a Clipper. I think we can all kind of agree on that. He's gonna be a Clipper. Yesterday or the day before yesterday, it was reported saying that the Clippers were a dark horse team for James Harden. And yesterday, this thing came out, and it said the Clippers are one of the teams that are gonna be calling. And I think it just makes the most sense. With, you look around the NBA and what team would really want a Harden or need a Harden, and the Clippers just makes the most sense. Yeah, so apparently he probably didn't want to go to Houston, I'm guessing. He wanted to still win, but also get money. So he's going to get his $35 million player option and then traded probably to the Clippers. And the thing about the trade to the Clippers is, I kind of like this for Philly as well, because the Clippers have a lot of contracts. They got guys like Norman Powell, Marcus Morris, Eric Gordon, stuff like that. So if you're the Sixers and you trade Harden to the Clippers, you're going to get back some decent role players. You know, I mean, you can get back maybe Eric Gordon, unless the Clippers are going to waive him. I don't know if they officially done that yet, but if they did, then you're probably going to get back Marcus Morris. You might get back Norman Powell, honestly. You might get back Norman Powell, which is really good. Marcus Morris, even though he didn't have a good year last year with the Clippers, he still could be very serviceable for them. You got guys like Nick Batum, Robert Covington, guys like that. Sixers aren't getting a bad thing, and then depending on what picks you get, you know, it could be a solid move, you know, for the Sixers. Then you get those players, and maybe you can flip to Bias for something else. Who knows what happens there? But yeah, the Clippers, I feel like, is the obvious move. It's probably gonna happen, and yeah, it would just be really funny seeing him, Kawhi, Paul George on the same team, and then if Westbrook resigns, that would just be insane. All four of those guys on the same team. But I think it's a decent move for the Clippers. You know, of course, the Clippers have this Kawhi and PG thing. They've been wanting to kind of win, obviously, but it hasn't really worked out. Things have kind of prevented that. And even this offseason, there's some talks about Paul George potentially being on the move. You know, and the Clippers wanted to break up the PG Kawhi tandem, but now that James Harden's available, maybe they're like, you know, we're going for one last run with this Clipper team. Get James Harden in here. We'll have this big three, and if it doesn't work out, then it might be time to break it up, because James Harden's going to be on his player option, not a contract extension. So it's only a 1 year kind of rental for James Harden now. Another team that was involved was the New York Knicks. Was a team interested, which really surprised me. But I don't think the Knicks should do it. I don't think the play for the star is James Harden. I don't think James Harden really fits with the Knicks, especially you already have Jalen Brunson, you know, RJ, Randall, I don't think he really fits with Tom Thibodeau's style of play. I just don't think it's worth it for the Knicks to give up some picks and young players for James Harden. I don't think that's the star move you go to. I think maybe you wait for Joel Embiid, which we're going to talk about in a few minutes. But yeah, I don't think the Knicks should be in play for Harden. I get they're kind of in there just to like see what's going on, but I don't think they should make the play. And then I don't really know what other team, the Suns potentially, but even then, trying to think of a trade for the Suns, the only way that this happens if it's a three-teamer and DeAndre Ayton goes to a third team. Because why would the Sixers take DeAndre Ayton? You know, so match if that happens, you have Harden, Beal, Booker, and Durant. That's an insane lineup. But yeah, DeAndre Ayton probably have to go to a third team because the Sixers. Why would you take on DeAndre Ayton and they have no picks? So if the Sixers want picks, they need a third team involved. But yeah, I think the Clippers are the only team that really makes sense. You know, I was trying yesterday on the trade machine and stuff to try to find little scenarios on other teams, but none of them really made sense besides the LA Clippers. You know, I think so Harden's probably going to be a Clipper. I'll put my money on it, you know. But now for the Sixers, this could be a domino effect. Depending on what you get back in the James Harden trade, depending what other things happen, this could be the end of the process era. You know, James Harden was probably their best player that they've had in the last year or two that could have. Last year was one of the best years if they wanted to win a championship. That last year was one of the best years, you know. And even the Sixers had a bad ending to the playoffs, losing in 7 to the Celtics in the second round again. And now Joel's getting older. Obviously, he finally won an MVP. Now it's time for him to get a ring. And seeing after what Jokic did in this playoffs, it's kind of like pressuring Joel a little bit by everyone to like, hey, you got to go do this now. And if James Harden out of here, depending on what the package you get back for Harden is, you know, depending on what other things happen, Joel Embiid could be out of Philly in another year or two. You know, if James Harden goes, if the Sixers this year don't really look as good without Harden, and they can't really find a replacement for him, and they lose early in the playoffs again, it might be time for, you know, Joel to ask out, and that's where potentially the New York Knicks come in. You know, I think that would be a great move, or another team, surprising team comes in. We don't know. It probably won't be now. It'll probably be like a year from now, or maybe 2. Who knows? But yeah, this could be a domino effect for the entire Philadelphia 76er team, depending on what happens in the next few days with this James Harden mess. And so yeah, I'm very excited for it. Got some, you know, a little bit more fire before free agency starts. I am super excited now because at this point, who knows what's gonna happen? Honestly, I tried to predict last night. Already, a lot of my predictions are probably going wrong already, which I don't really care, honestly, because it's just a prediction. Like, I know it's probably not gonna happen. I don't really take it that seriously, but like, man, who knows what's gonna happen, man? I'm gearing up for some craziness this free agency, you know. But yeah, that's it for today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Once again, if you enjoyed the content around here, consider subscribing, like, turn on notifications, do all stuff like that. I really appreciate it. Really upset a lot, and I will see you guys tomorrow.